here killing? Who doesn't suffer and is killed? Young lady.
Huh? Hey, it's late.
Come here. I'll give you anything you ask.
All right. You really gave me a turn. What are we playing? Hide and seek?
Ladies, take another look. A good look at the completely new and different sponge head you'll find now on the famous Roll-O-Matic, the original self-wringing mop and waxer. It's the all-new T35S Clean Right Sponge Head, made exclusively for the Roll-O-Matic. The new T35S won't shred, tear, or get hard, and it's 25% more absorbent. Just look how quickly it soaks up water. For wringing, simply flip the lever. The improved roller action squeezes out every drop. There's no bending or straining, and your hands never touch the dirty waters. The T35S Clean Right Sponge Head always stays soft and absorbent, so it easily picks up even the messiest spills, spreads liquid wax thinly and evenly without streaking. We're constantly working to make the Roll-O-Matic better than ever, to make your work easier than ever. So get the Roll-O-Matic today. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Available at all Walgreens, Sears, Jewel, participating True Value, Kmart, and Ace Hardware, Venture, Dominic's, Osco, and Woolworth.
Artu? Where are you? Artu? Artu? Artu, you're on fire! R2-D2, you found a cigarette. Well, I don't think smoking is grown up at all. Because it's very dangerous. Smoking does dreadful things to your lungs and is very bad for your heart. Well, I know I don't have one, but humans do, and I think we should set a good example. Well done, R2. Oh, hello. You know smoking is bad for your health, and it isn't grown up at all. So please, don't smoke. R2, do you really think I don't have a heart?
Katie's too young. We didn't want to play with them anyway.
For all the times you were there when Katie really needed a friend. For all the balls you fetched. Though you'd eat any dog food and not complain, I feel better giving you Gainsburgers.
Moist, meaty Gainsburgers dog food. Dogs love the taste, and the neat burger shape is really nice to serve.
I feel better giving you Gainsburgers.
You'll feel better giving your dog Gainsburgers.
Janet. You see? Are you convinced now?
Oh, but
Think calmly. And without this obsession for your looking glass. I know, you're thinking of yesterday. I'm still upset myself. You're afraid the cure will not be permanent. But you're mistaken. Now it's only a question of cell growth. I've already solved this problem. We must allow the cells we've regenerated to achieve lasting stability, nourish them artificially for a time. And especially with a transplant.
Transplant?
Yes, it must be done. And it must be done more than once. Why are you staring at me? I told you I'm tired and upset. I spent the whole night working in a laboratory so you could wake up as you are.
How many more times will you have to treat me?
A few. Very few. No one hopes so more than I do. You could never understand what it has cost me to make you well again. And yet, all I would have to do is tell you. To make you realize how deeply I love you. Jeanette!
No! Leave me alone, Albert. Please go. I must get dressed now. We can see each other later out in the garden.
Very well, then.
Hello?
Yes, Lieutenant Mornay is still on board the Garonne. He's now in Cape Town.
I have a communication for him. It's very urgent that I reach him. Could you possibly forward a letter?
Certainly, by airmail. He has a stopover on the return voyage. Please, don't mention it.
Excuse me, Sasha. I haven't any more cigarettes, and you know I only smoke this kind. Please go and buy me some. While you're at it, would you mail this letter? And get something for yourself. Oh, no, please take it. Do take it. You will remember to mail the letter, won't you? Thank you. Pierre, my darling, nothing has changed between us, at least not for me, and I need you desperately. Pierre, I'm afraid.
Thank you, Sasha. You did very well. Yes, I know I can rely on you at any time. This letter of hers... No, I won't say a word. But don't you permit her to be out of your sight when I'm not around, and disconnect the telephone the way I showed you. Sasha, this evening I have to do some work around here, and I don't want to be disturbed at all unless I call you myself. Do you understand? Run along.
Hi, Marilla. Hi, girls. How you doing this evening? Oh, I'm going to smoke one more cigarette and call it a night. Well, we'll be back and walk home with you. Fine.
I told you they'd be here. Hey, you. What are you two doing around here?
Oh, what do you suspect?
Get on home now. Aren't you afraid you'll meet the gorilla?
The gorilla. I'd rather meet him than some men I know.
Hurry, get the bar set up. Arlen, why must you always be late, huh?
I'm all ready to go. Well, look who's here. Yeah. Oh,
Arlette.
It's been ages.
How are you? Don't tell me you've been pining for me.
Well, I have, if you want to know.
Hi, Yvonne. Am I wrong, or are you getting fatter?
It's becoming, isn't it?
Hey, good evening.
Back, old buddy.
A carton of cigarettes if you play me something. But only for me here.
What's new, huh?
Let's get with it, boys. We got a paying customer.
Sit down here.
Reminds me of her, doesn't it?
La Garonne. That's Pierre Mornay's ship. And it docked here today. Where's the key to the front gate? Idiot! Hurry, come with me.
Hey, lady, you'll catch cold. Come aboard.
No, thanks. I'd rather wait down here. Pierre!
I can't believe it. Jeanette. Jeanette. You've recovered. Why didn't they tell me at the clinic when I looked for you? But they told me you'd always be disfigured. Didn't you ever want to see me?
It was the truth, Pierre, the truth, I swear.
Didn't you know I looked everywhere for you? Jeanette, where have you been? You can let me know. Where are you staying? What happened to you?
Didn't you receive my letter?
What letter?
Oh, Pierre, take me away. I'm so frightened.
Of what? Tell me.
There's a man in the water there. I heard a splash.
you're positive that she's the same person?
There's no doubt about it. And this one showing the scars was given to me at the clinic that sent her away disfigured forever.
Yes, yes. The photographs are of the same girl, I agree. But I was referring to the person you met tonight on the waterfront. You don't think that...
Oh, no, Commissioner. It was she in front of me.
But in the dark, with the fog and all.
But I know her. I couldn't possibly be mistaken.
There's no Jeanette Morino listed with the Bureau of Missing Persons.
But she's not a missing person. She's here. I've seen her. She has no relatives in town, even if she'd been kidnapped.
Listen, you know, I want to believe you. I remember the auto accident from which Jeanette Morino barely escaped with her life. But this story of a recovery is impossible.
Yet she's cured, perfectly normal. It's her same face.
But who would be likely to hide such a miracle as that?
Whoever it was who tried to kill me.
For what reason?
An hour ago in Rue d'Orme, Police Sergeant Brundell recovered a stolen automobile. This is the license number.
You want to rejuvenate me? How long has it been since I bothered about stolen cars?
The same automobile, a short time before, just about the same moment the assault occurred, was stopped for speeding on the Esplanade, where it passes the waterfront, by Patrolman Cholin. Inside, as well as the driver, there was an unconscious woman and a doctor taking her to the hospital.
You see? Check the hospitals?
I've already telephoned. There's no record of her.
Maybe he was taking her to a private clinic. The name of the doctor?
Well, Cholin didn't bother to ask him that under the circumstances. It could have been a doctor who commandeered the first automobile he found.
Or a clever criminal who would say anything to avoid identifying either himself or the woman.
Jeanette.
Perhaps. But there happens to be a real doctor who might give us some information about this miraculous recovery.
Will you let me come with you?
Yes, but on one condition, however, that... No, I'll tell you in the car. Ah, good evening, Professor Levin. Please excuse us if we're... Oh, this is Police Sergeant Durand. Marais, I think you already know. Excuse the interruption if we're disturbing you at this hour, but passing in front of your villa, I thought, why don't I leave it up to you, Professor Levin, to clarify a scientific problem we have? You were so extremely kind to me when we met each other that time before, in those unfortunate circumstances.
Oh, yes. My poor assistant had passed away. Monique Riviere. You may go, Sasha.
Sasha. He's a strange one.
He's my factotum. Cares for the garden more than anything.
Mm-hmm. A mute. The soul of fidelity. An expert with flowers. The classic one to suspect in a mystery story, if there were anything to suspect him of.
May I offer you a drink, Inspector?
Yes, yes. Let's be comfortable. We must try to make it easy for Professor Levin to forget that we're policemen. Did you notice these bottles? He got them as a souvenir of Hiroshima. Interesting, aren't they, Durand? You don't have to blow smoke under my nose.
Excuse me. Here you are.
Thank you.
If you please. Now then, Inspector.
I'll make it brief. Look here, Professor. Have you been following in Éclair Soir all that Tommy rot about Sadok, the monster?
Not closely. Tommy rot is the right word for it. Cheap, sensational journalism. Chief?
All right, go out and smoke. If you don't mind, that is.
But I still don't comprehend.
The time before, I asked you a question which you were kind enough to say was intelligent. About the psychological reaction of the victims of an atomic explosion. Well, then, perhaps my own supposition will be an absurd one. But think of the ships that arrive here from Japan. And this, Sadok. Is it possible that he's one of those...
I see. You've been impressed by the recurring factor in these cases of the wound from the throat to the sternum. The obsession of a vindictive-minded man who's been poisoned or disfigured forever by atomic radiation. One might even say, a vampire of the atom age who wants to recover.
Exactly. What do you say?
The hypothesis is melodramatic, but not to be excluded.
You just said the hypothesis is melodramatic, but the fact that you don't exclude it altogether puts me, how shall I say, more at peace with my own conscience. We mustn't let our feet get too far off the ground.
Chief, the photographs?
Ah, right. Excuse me, I had another purpose in coming here to see you. Look here. Examine these two photos. Do you believe that a woman reduced to such a state as this might recover altogether? What I mean is without any scar, without a trace.
I should say not. This state of disfiguration is permanent.
Nevertheless, Professor,
Let me do the talking, Durand. Nevertheless, there is someone who swears that he's seen this woman, the way she was.
That's impossible.
And if there did exist a cure, I don't know, a process we never heard of.
Any man who had discovered one would be a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And I assure you I'd be the first to envy him.
I imagine so. All right, then. This other photo, which was submitted to me as proof of her actual recovery, must have been taken at some time prior to her accident.
Pity. The signature was not dated.
Ah, right. It wasn't. And besides, even if it had been, it could easily have been faked.
Professor, I'm ready to swear that these...
Durand! We've been disturbing you long enough. We're most grateful, Professor.
I'll accompany you.
Murray? We're leaving. Durand!